Hi, this is Dee with Divine L and another results video. My team just did let me know about this. Remember I did a reading and it said that there was going to be an explosion dealing with Israel somehow. Well, it happened, just not on the date we expected. We thought it was the 10th because they gave me the 10s, remember? The 10th of September. But they were talking about 10 October. Indeed, October 1st, to be precise. I want you to check this out, okay? I'm going to mute my mic and let you guys, whoops, sorry about that. Let you guys hear this.
A large explosion occurred at a state-owned rocket factory in central Israel on Saturday morning, causing no injuries or damage. In what the defense contractor called a controlled test, the blast sent up a massive plume of fire and smoke outside the central Israeli town of Ramler, which could be seen from miles away. The explosion took place at the government-owned Tomer defense firm, which manufactures propulsion systems for a variety of rockets and missiles. Videos of the blast were widely shared on social media, prompting speculation that it was the result of a malfunction or sabotage, especially in light of ongoing tensions between Israel and Iran. Indeed, the explosion at the sensitive military site was featured prominently in Iranian media, which insinuated that it may have been a form of retaliation by Tehran for the recent blast at its Natanz nuclear facility that has been widely attributed to Israel. The Israeli defense contractor maintained that the images were misleading and that it was a deliberate explosion as part of a trial. This was a controlled test, without any irregular incidents, a spokeswoman for the firm said. The explosion was not announced in advance or reported after the fact by the Defense Ministry or the company. Tomer, which was formed in 2015, serves as the main producer of propulsion systems for some of Israel's most important missiles and rockets, including the Arrow air defense system, the Shavit satellite launcher and the extra artillery rocket.
All right. So they were talking about October. I'll get it right eventually. So I guess you could call that a miss because I got the date wrong. But it was a damn straight-on hit as far as what country and a mushroom cloud. Wow, right? So my team definitely nailed this one for sure. Filling me in that something was going to happen like this. And they told, when I got the 10 card, I assumed the 10th of September. Well, it's October they were talking about. The 10 was October. And that's my fault because when I ask for a date, I usually have them give me the month and the day and the year. And I just asked for the day. So I have a feeling that's why they started to kick out the month and then the day, right? So maybe I better start doing that on my readings, ask for the month and the day that it's going to occur. So anyway, so I would say that that particular reading was a bang-on success, like dead on, except for I got the date wrong. That's my bad. Anyway, I'm going to continue doing this work. It's important that you guys have a heads up before things happen. We're living in some interesting times, but so I think it's important you guys have a little bit of a heads up of what's going on out there. Anyway, so that is the results video. Also, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a couple of things that stood out to me because I want you guys to learn how to read between the lines. I'm trying to teach you. Anyway, just some quick articles I want you to look at. Taliban takeover exposes largest Afghan ethnic group surprising Israel link. No surprise to me at all. None at all. Because everybody's under the impression that the U.S. gave everything over to the Taliban. What faction of the Taliban? What faction? What group? Never stop asking why. Yeah. If you guys want to see these stories, just pull up your search engine, go into the news, and then type in Taliban takeover exposes largest Afghan ethnic group surprising Israel link. I guess I could put links in the description to help you guys out. Let's see if there's anything else. Oh, that was me. That's my history. I was trying to remake the first part of that one video that I produced about the connection to all the, all the bad stuff going on. You guys know that part 2 came out, part 1 didn't, unfortunately, and I was going to have to redo that work. I think it's kind of one of those deals that it wasn't meant to be. So I just put it to the side. Another headline, Israeli police suspect recaptured Palestinian prisoners plan serious act of terror. Now, look at September 11th. So they're trying to instill fear in the populace with that particular little tidbit. Now, this is interesting. Prosecution witness in Netanyahu trial and his wife killed in Greek plane crash. If you're me, this does not surprise you because you understand what's going on here and who's behind all the shenanigans. Anyway, no big surprise. This man that was set to testify suddenly has a plane crash. Oops. Yeah. So, and this is 2 Israelis that were killed in Greece. It doesn't matter where you go. They have a long arm and they'll reach out and touch you. Or they'll try. Very hard in some cases. Just look at Julian Assange. Yeah. So, yeah. Our government plotting and planning to execute him. Kidnap and execute. Yeah. Yeah, our governments aren't so hot, are they? Nope, they don't like being revealed much for their shenanigans. Now, here's something a lot of you may not understand that I want you to understand. Remember, I talked about there's Jews that are claiming to be Jews that aren't Jews. Well, here you go. Is a Sephardi Ashkenazi war behind abduction of Israeli boy in Italy? That's one group, and that's another. Now, do you want to know who the real Nazis are? It's not the Anunnaki. I can tell you that, because this group is Anunnaki. I told you too many secrets. Look it up. If you look at Sephardic Jews, they protest heavily about who's running Israel. And I mean heavily. They're like, we will never live in Israel because we were told never to go back. Anyway, just saying. But the ones in Israel, running Israel, this is the group right there. Yeah. And all you have to do is ask Admiral Byrd who's running. Oh, damn, he's dead. Everybody's dead that you could ask. Who's running the U.S.? There you go. Shh, you're not supposed to know. And that is the Orion Group, aka, just in case you didn't put two and two together. Okay. Hamas ordered by court to pay NIS 38 million to victims of terrorism. Interesting, right? No escape from the growing Palestinian interscene tensions. What else? Oh yeah, this goes back to when those prisoners escaped. That was a maximum security prison, and based on what I was reading, that was allowed to happen. So, and you might ask, well, why would they allow that to happen? So they'd have an excuse to blow up Palestinian cities. You're not supposed to know that. Let's see. Death panels, the new phase of the pandemic. Sophie's Choice. Yeah. They definitely try to drum up the fear in all of you. That's part of the playbook. Because they do feed off that fear. It makes them feel very strong. Thing is, you need to quit being afraid. Because like Martin Luther King said, the only thing to fear is fear itself. Anyway, fear does feed the virus. It's like prime plant food. Not joking. Prime fertilizer. So don't let it do that. Japan detects suspected China submarine near southern island, and this has happened more than once of late. UN chief, world is at a pivotal moment and must avert crisis. UN. We know who's running the UN. And the ones that aren't invited to the party. Just look at the ones that aren't invited to the party. Yep. Anyway, they're talking about global crisis. And that's because they're trying to prepare you for that. Because they plan on unleashing that. Anyway. This is interesting. Al-Qaeda chief appears in video marking 9/11 anniversary. And what's interesting is they don't know if this guy's alive or dead. But you do know that they can make videos, and they have programs that you can sit down behind a camera and talk, move your lips and all that stuff, and it will look like you can be anybody you want to. And it'll actually look like that person on the video when it's not even them. It can be anybody behind the camera. So I want to remind you of that technology before you fall for any BS. Amin al-Zawahiri. Anyway, it's interesting they released this on the 9/11 anniversary. I think this is some more fear tactics. But the one thing that they do say, because Iran is, and some other countries are completely against what's going on in Israel. And in this particular video, it says Jerusalem will never be Judaized. So there you go. But they're wrong about that because it already has been by the Ashkenazi, not the Sephardic, okay? So everybody needs to keep that straight. There's actually, yeah. So there's, like I said a long time ago, if you want to hide, the best place to hide is behind the very ones that you tried to genocide and pretend you're one of them. Because the hearts of the world go out to the Jews. Sephardic. Keep in mind I'm a Jew, so I definitely have every room to talk about this. Yeah. Keep in mind that many of you are too and don't know it. Anyway, I didn't know it either until I went to the family cemetery and I was like, it's a Jewish Freemason cemetery. What branch are the Freemasons? Because that's heavily infiltrated too. Just saying. Anyway, yeah. So, they're totally against, what's going on in Jerusalem, as many are. And as we know, Israel is heavily connected to the UK, is heavily connected to the certain group of the Taliban, and a whole bunch of other interesting things like ISIS, perhaps? But you're not supposed to know that. Our government's behind that too. But as you know, Benjamin Netanyahu, the one that was the prime minister, addressed our Congress like he was our president. You're not supposed to remember or say anything. Shh. Anyway, what are they showing me? Putin in self-isolation due to COVID cases in his inner circle. That's an old one. Let's see if we got anything else. Okay. And he did that after watching a huge display of firepower during Zapad war games. Anyway, that's, I think, all I've got for this one. Yeah, that's it. So I'll put links down if you want to look at those closer. But I do, definitely that was a direct hit on the reading about a mushroom cloud explosion and that it was going to happen with Israel involved. They told me in the cards that it was Israel. And sure enough, it was. I just got the date wrong. That's all. It was wrong and it was right. The 10 was meaning October. So, I'm learning as I go. But I'd say that that one was pretty much a direct hit. Anyway, I'm trying to see if there was anything else I wanted to... It was an Iranian missile factory and they're saying that Israel was behind doing this. So anyway, there you go. Oh, and by the way, while I'm doing this, remember the reading I had and I heard Azerbaijan, however you pronounce it. I don't even know. All I know is I heard it via telepathy from Gabriel. Well, it turns out that reading might actually come to fruition too. And I'm going to start doing the dates like my team, like I started doing it with them, with the month, the day, and then the year. Or maybe I'll just do month, day, because we already, although they may give me a reading about something that's going to happen in the next year. I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe I better do year too. But there's some border tensions going on with Azerbaijan. I don't know. Gabriel pronounces it perfectly. I wish I could do that. Anyway, I think if I practiced, maybe I could. I don't know. Anyway, so it looks like that reading may actually be something that happens. Remember, it was X marks the spot on the map. Yeah, it happened there. Something happens there. And it was like, remember, it was during the reading that I got avalanche, right? Well, the avalanche not only was something to do with a, what do you call it? The Bitcoin type currencies, digital currency. There's one called Avalanche, and it soared right after I did that reading in how much it was worth. And then also, that was the same reading where they told me about Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan. I don't know if I got that right or not. Anyway, yeah. So this explosion happened, and I call it a success on that reading, 100, except for the date. But we'll work on that. Anyway, more coming because I got some more readings to do. They're prompting me to do. Anyway, take care, and yeah, we'll continue with this.